welcome back. Me again. Welcome back to another podcast episode. Haven't done one of these in a while. I also didn't I was gonna say size you up. I'm not gonna fight you. What's it called? Frame you. It's been a while since I've done a podcast, hasn't it? And a fucking lot's changed, let me tell you. I'm gonna do my makeup as I do this podcast because I have a true crime to film today. What's new, huh? Well, actually, I'll tell you what's new because there's a fucking lot that's new. Last time I saw yous, I was like, oh, I'm booked in for an ADHD assessment. I'll let you know how it goes. I was pretty sure I was gonna get diagnosed with it. I don't have it. Well, she don't think I do. She don't think I have it. It was the fucking weirdest moment when she was like, so she like concluded at the end and she was like, so, you know, I don't think you have ADHD. And I was like, are you? Be fucking for real. Like, come on. No, but she then went on to explain why she thinks I don't have ADHD. And it made a lot of sense to me. So, if you've never done an ADHD test before, they send you like paper assessments to do beforehand. I had to fill them out and they're like loads of different statements and you say how much you agree with each thing and it's like, I am restless. I agree like strongly or whatever, you know what I mean? I fill that out and they also get someone from your childhood to fill it out. So I got my mum to fill it out, like imagining me as a child to see if the behaviors have like been steady since childhood into adulthood. And they also get someone from like your current life to do it. So I got Adam to do it. Adam and my mum filled out these thingies. We sent them off to the lady and she was like, look, on all of these tests, you're scoring about half. Like, so you do have half of the symptoms of ADHD, but she was like, because it's not 100% or, well, not necessarily 100%, but she was like, because you don't have half, like just because I do have half, I also don't have half of the symptoms. So she was like, I don't think it is ADHD. I think that these symptoms that you are experiencing could be the result of something else. So a secret third thing. So as part of the assessment, I don't know if they do this with everyone, I think they do actually. She was like getting me to like tell her about all like my trauma and stuff. It was really funny actually because Adam was just like chilling in my other room like doing some work or whatever and I was like, if he can hear me right now, why am I fucking relaying all my trauma ever to this woman who's gonna tell me if I have ADHD or not? And that's exactly why she did it actually, because I told her about all my trauma and she was like, these symptoms that you're experiencing could just be like really severe anxiety, because I told her that I have really bad anxiety. I always have all my life. And she was like, the fact that you're aware that you have anxiety says a lot, but also you're not aware of how bad it is. And I was like, huh, interesting. So I went back to my other therapist, who I don't see as regularly as I once did. Oh my God, remember when I said I was gonna do my makeup? I haven't even fucking touched my face. So I went back to my therapist, who I don't see as regularly as I once did. These days it's just kind of like to keep an eye on my medication, see that I'm still on the right dose and whatever. We decided recently, I am not on the right dose, because I've been getting really bad anxiety lately. And I couldn't even tell you why. That's the worst kind of anxiety, isn't it? When you like can't even pinpoint why it is. And it's like, why am I panicking to go out and have a meal with my boyfriend? I know I'm gonna have a great time. So what? Tell me why I'm scared. I'm not scared of that man. I've been kissing him for a while now. I'm not scared of him. So I don't really understand what's going on planet Ellie at the moment. But yeah, severe anxiety. I'm going back to therapy. Properly. Like every week I have a recurring session every Thursday. Yes, every Thursday at 10 a.m. with my therapist. I am gonna be crying. And honestly, we did like my first session of it. So ever since I got this diagnosis of, it's not ADHD, it's really fucking bad anxiety, I went back to my therapist and I was like, let's do these weekly sessions. So I had the first one last week. And it was going well for the first like half an hour. I was like, damn, therapy's fucking easy. Why did I ever stop doing this? And then we hit a nerve. Girlie, I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. I cried for the last half hour of the session and then I finished and I just went and sat on my couch and just Like, it just like exploded out of me. And I did kind of expect that, you know, your first therapy session back after a while. Who am I fucking kidding? I'm not gonna do my makeup. Don't know why I feel the need to always do my makeup for my true crime videos lately. I don't really like that. Because I used to go on that channel in no makeup all the time, but for some reason these days, because it just kind of feels like a uniform to me. It's like, oh, that's my very professional day job. I better dress up and put my uniform on, aka eyeliner. So anyway, where was I? Trauma dumping on you all. So yeah, I had my first therapy session of the year, really, of this particularly bad mental health blip. I had my first therapy session, and I definitely think we've already kind of got to the root of my anxiety. Well, we've kind of got a good idea of what's causing it now, and I don't want to say, honestly, because I think I do share quite a lot online about my mental health, but like the specifics like that, I'm not really keen on talking about online. But I will tell you how everything goes and how my anxiety goes and stuff. But yeah, I think we literally just scratched the surface. Like, we literally just kind of identified one of the things that's like causing my anxiety right before the session ended. So it's like, next session, we'll be really diving into that. And I'm so nervous. Like, I haven't felt that emotionally vulnerable in so long. It's such a weird feeling going back to therapy. I've done it so many times in my life. I've dipped in and out of it so many times, and it don't get any easier, because every time you go back, well, no, it kind of does get easier, but it never stops feeling weird. Maybe that's what I mean. Like, you go back for your first session and you're like, fuck, I forgot what this felt like. This is weird. But already I feel not much better when it comes to my anxiety. I definitely am still rather damaged inside. But now that I've kind of pinpointed it a little bit, I already feel a little bit of relief. A little bit, not too much, because nothing's actually happened to get rid of my anxiety, but just knowing what it is, it really makes a difference, you know? I think therapy, honestly, I'm such a therapy stan. I think therapy is life-changing. It has been for me every single time I've done it, so I'm really excited for this time around. But also, the ADHD lady said that if I like treat my anxiety and the symptoms, my ADHD symptoms still persist, then maybe I go back and get another screening, because I didn't actually have an assessment. I had a screening. They give you a screening before you go and have an assessment so that they kind of don't waste the assessor's time, I think. So you have like a mini assessment before your assessment, and I had the mini one, and she was like, there's no point you going for the big one because I think it's anxiety. So she did say that if I treat my anxiety and the symptoms persist, then it probably is ADHD and I should go again. But she was doubtful of that. And it makes sense. Like, I was scoring high in all of the, I forgot which side of the test it was, but there's two different types of symptoms, the hyperactivity ones and the attention deficit ones. I think it was the attention deficit ones that I was scoring really, really high on. But I am fucking hyperactive anyway. Anyway, trauma jump over. How have you guys been? Do you want to know about like the other shit I've been doing in my life that's not like depressing? Where's my phone? Okay, what have I been doing lately? I've been in my gym era. For the first time ever in my life, I have never gone to a gym before properly. I used to go with my school a little bit. Trust me, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I go on treadmill for a bit, and then I go on bike for a bit, and then I'll leave. I'm not even doing any at Swizz machines because I don't even know how to fucking do them. I've only started it recently because I've never been that much of an exerciser, which sounds really bad, doesn't it? But like, the only exercise I've really been getting for the past like good few years, like since I quit school. I left school. The only exercise I've really been getting is like walking and stuff. I don't like go out of my way to exercise, and I kind of wanted to change that. I just want to be healthier. Like, I've lost all the weight, but it's like, I'm still not entirely like healthy. Like, I haven't been doing my, are they macros or micros? Macros. You know what, I've got a fucking long way to go with this health and fitness journey, and but little by little, she's getting there. It's like sustainable increments to make a happy and healthy lifestyle, you know? Or something, I don't know, I'm literally just saying words at this point. But one thing I did find out at the gym, which was really like kind of hard on my soul, right? So there's this machine It's not a machine. Yes, it is. It's a machine, Ellie. It's like a robot. You get on it. It's scales. It's scales. You get on it and you like hold these things, and it tells you like all your body composition. You know, your fat-free mass, muscle percentage, other things, and your weight. And it also tells you your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories that you burn in a day just like by existing, I believe. So that's the amount of calories that you need to eat to sustain yourself and maintain your weight. Mine, I think, is fucking low. It's 1,600. I told my boyfriend that and he nearly fell off his chair. He was like, fucking hell, that's low. You need to like up your muscle. No, he didn't say that. Who was it that said that? Adam. Adam's like, well, you know, the way to get that up is to get more muscle. And I'm like, I know! I'm trying to eat my protein. I had scrambled egg and salmon this morning. That was fucking lovely. That was so good. I'm a proper chef these days. My metabolic rate has increased a little bit as I've been going to the gym because I've actually lost fat and gained muscle. Ooh, changing my body composition. So yeah, it went up by like 50 calories a day. Great, how am I gonna spend that? But yeah, I think those are all my life updates for now. I guess just in general, I'm very stressed. That's my emotional state at the moment. I'm rather stressed, like with work and stuff, and I don't know why. I do know why. It's very fucking busy and there's a lot of deadlines, and I'm going on holiday next week, which is fun. Woo, very excited. I'm taking my mummy away because she never gets to go on holidays. So she literally hasn't been on a holiday, I want to say in like 10 years nearly. So for Christmas last year, I got her a holiday. I like just wrote it in a card. I was like, I'm gonna book this holiday, but like you get to pick where you wanna go. So we picked a hotel together and everything, and we're going away like next week. Super excited for that. But that means that I've really got to work my ass off this week to be able to get all the videos like pre-done, so then we can put them out while I'm away, you know? I can't believe I've been podcasting for like nearly 15 minutes and I've only done my eyebrows. This is actually heinous. The word heinous doesn't get used enough, I think. I think it's fucking funny, especially on things that are just not that heinous. What music have I been liking? I've really been enjoying Notes on a Conditional Form by the 1975. Why are my kitchen appliances always making noises in these videos? One sec. Notes on a Conditional Form by the 1975. One of their like kind of older albums, but I didn't give it enough chance when it first came out. I am now realizing. I thought I had at the time. I thought I'd given it a listen, but maybe I just didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. But it's like I've like rediscovered the album and I fucking love it all over again. I'm really in an Ice Spice era, and I know I said that in the last podcast, but that's because I was in an Ice Spice era just like from adding a couple of her songs to a playlist last time, whereas this time I'm a full-on stan. I run to Ice Spice in the gym every day. Well, every day that I'm in the gym. I don't go to the gym every day because I would actually... I'm not gonna say that, but you kind of know what I would do. That doesn't sound like a fun day. That doesn't sound like a fun existence at all. Ice Spice is so good to listen to in the gym though, because of the like, obviously the beat and the pace of the song helps because that's the exact kind of like pace that I run at. But also, she's just fucking motivating. I love her. I love her so much. I'm seriously, I might just make like a Twitter account for her. Become a Twitter stan for Ice Spice. Oh my God, I finished You season 4. I want to scrape this off. Do you want some? Do you want some foundation? Because I don't actually want them. Yeah, I finished I finished You season 4 last night and it was fucking incredible. I loved it so much. It was so good. That was such a good ending. I'm not gonna give any spoilers. It was such a good... He's up to his old shenanigans. He's a fucking serial killer. But anyway, me and Adam actually went to the screening of the first episode of part 2 of season 4 of You. Oh my God, literally the most convoluted sentence I've ever said in my life. Me and Adam went to the screening anyway. Oh my God, and Pen Badgers was there. Pendulum Badulum was there talking. Oh my God, it was genuinely one of the sickest nights I think I've ever had doing anything like, you know, like worky. Even though that's hardly fucking work, it's a show that I am obsessed with. I would have paid to gone to that, I would have paid. But oh my God, it was amazing. Me and Adam, like the whole next day we were working at mine and we just kept turning to each other going, last night was so good, wasn't it? It was like me, Adam, Dakota, Warren was there. Oh my God, the camera's gonna die. But we had a really good night anyway, and they had these cocktails that were in teacups because like, so the camera died. I carried on doing my face though, because I thought, why waste their time? So my cheeks might be a bit pinker now, and that's about it. I really did not get a shift on, and I really should. Anyway, what was I talking about? I talked about music, I talked about you. So YouTube that I've been loving lately. I need a brush! YouTubers that I've been loving lately. Oh my God, I have a new favorite YouTuber. Nah, close enough. One of my new favorite YouTubers. He's called It's Vitali, I think. And he does like videos about like 2000 scandals and like icons. Oh my God, such an interesting channel. I really, really enjoyed his channel lately. And he's Russian, so his accent is just, you don't get to hear a Russian accent enough, I don't think. He's great. Who else have I liked? Oh, I've been watching another It's person. It's Keisha. She's been doing like pretty good coverage on the whole Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber thing. So that's where I've been getting like my updates and stuff, and I think she's really, really entertaining. I mean, I don't always like agree with her points that she says and stuff, but like, isn't that the same with everyone, I guess? She's still like really entertaining, and she lays out information really well, I think. And she's just, I keep saying the word entertaining because she is, like, she has like, I feel like you could make 5 people say the exact same information, but she would be the most entertaining out of all of those 5, you know what I mean? She's just interesting, she's cool. Who else have I liked? I've liked, oh my God, Wendigoon still. ILY so much. I love him. I've been watching literally like all his videos. I watched his, you know, oh, what's it called? The 9 layers of hell. And he like described all the different 9 layers and what the fuck's going on in each layer. By the way, ew. If you've watched that video, it's fucking traumatizing, seriously. I've been watching Waterwave, right? This guy that I found recently from like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared video essays or like tier lists or something. I can't remember what I found him from, but yeah, I've just been watching like all his Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared content because I love that show and I want to still try and make it one of my personality traits, even though there's really not that much of it to make a personality trait. Sorry, don't know why I decided to slay today. I woke up and I said, slay. While I've got yous all here, my board of directors for my life, I would like to ask if any of you have any suggestions for like light, easy meals that I can make myself. Because I want to start cooking more. No, I actually don't. That's why I said the word easy, because I don't want to cook anything that's just like easy to prepare. Okay, for example, this morning. So the way that I do like my diet at the moment is that I'm doing smaller meals more often. I'm not that good at being a 3 meal a day person. I'm such a snacker, I'm such a grazer that I've decided to just stop fighting it and almost kind of feed into it a little bit, lol, literally. So instead of forcing myself to only have 3 meals a day and like no snacks or like only 1 snack, I have let myself have like 5 smaller meals a day. So for example, first thing this morning after I went to the gym, I came back and I made scrambled eggs and salmon. Yum! Yummo! It was so good. And then I had my bath, I did some work, and then I made my second meal of the day, which was a slice of wholemeal toast with peanut butter on and a chopped up banana. So you know what I mean? I'm not exactly cooking, am I? I'm just like preparing a couple of ingredients, shoving them together and going bon appetit. So if there's anything like that that you can think of that you can go, oh, Ellie, why don't you make that? Let me know. What else? Ooh, did you hear my neck crack? If you didn't, then my neck cracked, guys. I think I might go to a chiropractor. I don't know why though, because I don't actually specifically have any pain. That's just me being like, just very interested. I just want someone to crack me like a glow stick. I just want to be You know what else I really want to do? I really want to go to a dermatologist and just go, tell me about my skin. You know what I mean? Like, tell me what I need to be doing and using on my skin, because I don't know her very well. I don't. I've known her for 24 years now, but I still can't figure her out. I know that she's dry. And that's about all I know about my skin. Probably actually one of my favorite organs. If you had to tier list your organs, what would you put at number one? I feel like the heart is very fucking cool, to be fair. Yeah, my heart's first. And then my skin though, because skin's kind of like an underdog. People sometimes forget that that's an organ. What else are the organs? What was I talking about before fucking organs, you... What were I talking about? Fuck knows. Actual fuck knows. Someone show that ADHD lady my podcast and see what she says. Do you think... What do you guys think? Me wanting the professional opinion of all the Eleanor Neale watchers on YouTube. What do you guys reckon? You know what? I actually have had like chronic anxiety all my life. Since I was like 8 or 9, I used to have separation anxiety from my mum, which we didn't know at the time. I've only realised as I've gotten older, looked back at my behaviour and gone, so fucking obvious that that kid was really struggling whenever she was away from her mum, yet no one helped. I am a little bit bitter about that. That's one thing about therapy, is when you learn where a lot of your responses come from and where a lot of just you comes from, and you get a little bit of resentment about it, because it's like, damn, if you hadn't have like said that to me or done that to me, or if I hadn't have been put in this position when I was in school or whatever, then maybe I'd be mentally healthy right now. Maybe I wouldn't have a panic attack every week. But no, I had to be bullied and now I cry all the time. I don't know, because I feel like everyone's a little bit messed up in their own ways though. So if I hadn't have been traumatized through bullying, then maybe I would have been traumatized through something else. Oh, but what I was saying was, I have really bad anxiety, and I always have. When I was like 8 or 9, I used to have panic attacks whenever I would go stay at my dad's house, and I had no idea why. Maybe if I'd have spoken to a therapist at the time, they would have very much easily been able to point out that like, she's having these panic attacks when she's staying at her dad's and no other time. Like, that's probably the reason. Sorry, love you, Dad. It genuinely wasn't my dad's fault. Like, it was just me and my separation anxiety from my mum. It wasn't like my dad were doing it wrong. He was fucking sick, to be fair. Anyway, this has been a proper little therapy episode, hasn't it? But yeah, I've had anxiety all my life, literally for as long as I can remember. So it does seem like that could be why I think I have ADHD. Maybe that's just how it's like manifested over the years. Ow! You know when you hit your knee in that one particular place and it like flies up? It just done it again then. You know what? Life is actually so entertaining at its very base level. I just sit here and whacked my knee a couple of times and I'm giggling. It's fucking sick. I always, you know what? One thing I really like about myself, we're having a nice part of the therapy episode now. One thing I really like about myself is that I'm able to make anything fun. Or at least I think I'm able to make anything fun. Like, if we're just like waiting in the car, I will come up with a game, or I will ask you some kind of stupid question like, tier list your organs, you know what I mean? I'm always like, I don't know, that's just one of my favorite things about myself, is that I don't let things get boring. Ever. I've never been bored. You know what I am thinking about getting, and not for aesthetic reasons? Botox in my jaw. Because of my anxiety, I think I've told you guys about this in a previous podcast episode. I subconsciously clench my jaw all the time. I literally catch myself doing it at least 10 times a day, and I have to like remind myself to unclench, and then I have to sit here and rub it for a bit because it'll ache. Like, it's getting uncontrollable now. And there's a treatment for it. If you get Botox injected into these muscles, it like stops you being able to clench all the time, and I do it in my sleep. I do it all the fucking time, and I'm noticing it so much now that my anxiety is getting like worse. Why is my anxiety getting worse? It's summer as well. There's gonna be so many fun things happening, and I'm gonna be crying the whole time. Oh, I'm really nervous to go to America next month. My boyfriend's doing a boxing match. Hey, why is my boyfriend a boxer? That's crazy. He's doing a boxing match over in Florida, and that's the first time I've ever been to America, so God. But yeah, when I go to Florida for that, that'll be the first time I've ever been to America and I'm so scared. But I'm so excited to experience America. That shit looks like it looks like it shouldn't be real. Don't you think? If you're not from America and you've never been there, does it look real? That shit don't seem real to me. I think they're making it up. I'm gonna be very excited just to like run around. Oh my God, one of the first things I do when I get there is finding a Target and I'm gonna go run around. Let me know of any other fun things I should be doing while I'm in Florida. Obviously, we're gonna try and do Disney and everything, but it's a little bit hard because he is there for boxing, so he can't like be out on like big long days and stuff. Maybe he can after the fight, but we're not staying for too long after the fight because again, I'm anxious and I want to come home. Because you know what I've realized recently? That traveling is quite a big trigger for my anxiety and I have no fucking clue why. Can you sense a pattern here with my anxiety? It's just all here and I'm like, why? Because I'm not a bad flyer. I'm not scared of planes. I'm not scared of being in somewhere unfamiliar. Like there's nothing in particular that I can say, yes, that's what's worrying me. But for some reason, every time I travel, every time I go away from home, I just start like crying. It's like I'm homesick, but I'm not. It's like my body is having this physical response and sadness, but my brain's like, wait, why are we sad? Can someone fill me in? Okay, I feel like I'm almost done with my makeup and I'm almost done chewing your ear off. Oh, actually, one other thing that happened in the therapy session, which I find a little bit funny. So as we were like trying to get to the root of why I'm so anxious, he was like, I keep coming back to your job. Obviously your job is very unique and very heavy and there's very few other people like in the world or even in the true crime industry that kind of take it all onto themselves at such a rapid rate, you know, like going through like learning everything about 4 cases a month, 4 murders, if not more than that. You know, say there's serial killers, sometimes there's like 10 plus murders that I'm reading about and studying and sometimes even looking at crime scene pictures of, and he was like, for any normal human being that would be traumatizing. I understand that you've done it a while. He was like, do you think this could be a root of your anxiety? And I says, no. I says, girlie, you don't know me. For some reason, true crime, probably because of my job and probably because of like years of acclimatizing to it, I guess. True crime is one of the only things that does not freak me out, ever. I mean, I suppose if I was faced with it in real life, yeah, I'd shit my pants and probably die. Camera's gonna die again. Bye guys, love you. Subscribe and I'll see you next episode. Mwah. Good ending.